Hello, everybody. Myself, Praveen Singh, and I welcome all of you on this YouTube channel of IBE. As many of you are aware about the IBE, IBE is one of the oldest coaching institute in Arunachal Pradesh, which is providing a very fantastic qualitative coaching classes for those aspirants who are preparing for this Arunachal Pradesh civil services exam. During this phase of crisis, IBE has launched online coaching classes for the upcoming prelims examination, and it is also providing a qualitative test series as well. So the first online test series was related with this ancient India, and this is the second part of the test discussion of ancient India. So it means in the first video I have discussed around 50 questions, and in this video I will finish, or I will discuss the rest of the 50 questions, my dear. So without wasting the time, let us start our test discussion. And I must tell you, all of you, that the questions which is being asked by the IBE is very are of very good quality, and these questions, there are chances that these questions may be asked in your upcoming prelims examination. So please watch this videos very carefully, and if possible, kindly note it down there. And before this start of discussion, I am requesting all of you to kindly subscribe this channel, and if possible, then share in Facebook and the other online media platforms. So let us start the test series of history discussion part 2, and the first questions that I am going to discuss today is the question number 51, my dear. Clear? So, in the 6th century BCE, the northern India was divided into the 16 great states, and as well as there were around 8 republican states as well. So it means we have the answer of question number 51 is, see, there were 16 great states known as what? Mahajanpada. And through which book we come to know about the list of these 16 Mahajanpadas? Mahajanpada means what? Uh, the great kingdom, or a large kingdom, and their total number was around 16. And among these 16, 14 were what? Monarchy, and 2 were the republic. Clear? So through a Buddhist text called Anguttara Nikaya and a Jaina text called Bhagavati Sutra, through these two books we come to know about the list of these 16 great states, also known as the 16 Mahajanpada. So this is very important questions for your prelims examination. And apart from these 16 Mahajanpadas, there were many republics that were there in this Mahajanpad period, or around 6th century BC. And you know that the founder of Buddhism, he himself was from republic state, and that is what? The Sakya of the Kapilavastu. So your answer would be what? Both A and B, my dear. Now, moving to the question number 52. Of all the states in northern India in 16th century BC, which of the following states emerge as the most powerful? It's a very easy question, and as well as the very important as well, my dear. So the answer is what? The Magad. B. And you know that in the classroom, the online classroom of this IBE, I have discussed many times that in Indian subcontinent, the rulers of Magad were the first who built the India's first empire, and this empire is known as the Magadhan Empire, my dear. Here, Magad means what? The South Bihar. So, the rulers of the South Bihar, they have formed the India's or the Indian subcontinent's first empire. So, answer is what? B. Magad. Now, let us consider the fifth question number 53. Yes, when Alexander invaded India, Magad was being ruled by a very easy question, and once again very important as well. Answer is the C, Nanda dynasty. And who was the Nanda ruler when Alexander invaded in the northwest part of the Indian subcontinent? Answer is what? Dhananand. Dhananand. He was the last Nanda ruler, in fact, and who was killed by the Chandragupta Maurya. But he was very notorious. He was not very popular, and he was extravagant and very corrupt. Clear? So Chandragupta Maurya, he killed Dhananand. So when Alexander invaded, who was the ruler of the Magad empire? Answer is the Nanda dynasty, and the ruler is the Dhananand, my dear. Now comes question number 54. Chandragupta Maurya, with the help of Chanakya, decided to overthrow the Nandas because, see, most of the students, they are going to do what? They are going to take this one, but this is the wrong one. So I am requesting all of you that in examination hall, please don't be in haste. आपको जल्दबाजी नहीं दिखाना है. Clear ना? So first you should study or read the questions properly, very carefully. So just read the question. The question is what? Chandragupta Maurya, with the help of Chanakya, decided to overthrow the Nandas because Chanakya had been humiliated by the Nanda. This is true. But see, the question is what? Question is asking that why Chandragupta Maurya decided to overthrow the Nanda. Clear na? So the answer would be this one, the C. The Nandas had accumulated a great deal of wealth by extortion and oppression of the people. So why Chandragupta Maurya decided to overthrow the Dhananand, that is the last Nanda ruler? Answer is C. But suppose if question asks that why Chanakya wanted to overthrow the Nanda, because Chanakya, who was Chanakya, dear? So Chanakya was the teacher, the mentor, the guru of this Chandragupta Maurya, that is the founder of the Mauryan Empire and the Mauryan dynasty. So once he went, who? The Chanakya went into the court of the Nanda ruler Dhananand, but he was humiliated. By whom? By this notorious people, the Dhananand. So then Chanakya took the decision that I will try to overthrow the the Nanda's rule. But as far as Chandragupta Maurya is concerned, why? What was his main concern, or why he wanted to overthrow? Or why he decided to overthrow the rule of the Nandas? Answer is he was unpopular, he was corrupt, he was oppressive. So the answer is what? C. Now let us moving to the question number 55. Yes, many of you students has called me ki, sir, that if you will use English and Hindi, then it would be very good for us. If you will use around 60, 70 or even 80% English and 20% Hindi in this test discussion, then it would be what a very good for us. तो आपको टेंशन नहीं लेना है. I will use both the Hindi and the English. Clear na? So in this question number 55, the decline of the Nandas at the hands of the Kautilya and Chandragupta Maurya has been vividly portrayed in the Sanskrit play written by Kalidasa. So this question is has a what? A slight mistake here. Should not be Kalidasa. It should be what? Visakha Dutt. Visakha Datta. Clear na? So Visakha Datta wrote a play, clear, a Sanskrit play called Mudra Rakshasa. So through that play, we come to know that Kautilya conspired against the last Nanda ruler, Dhananand. Clear na? So in which book we come to know about the conspiracy of Chanakya? Answer against the last Nanda ruler. Answer is Mudra Rakshas. And this book is written by whom? Visakha Dutt. And you know, Visakha Dutt was not a Mauryan scholar, my dear. Rather, Visakha Dutt was a Gupta scholar. G for Gupta scholar. Clear na? Gupta scholar. And this Visakha Dutt was in the court of Chandragupta II Vikramaditya. Clear na? One of the very powerful Gupta ruler. So here the answer would be Mudra Rakshas. Now, uh, see the question number 56. Kautilya, also known as Vishnugupta or Chanakya, is the author of Arthashastra, which has been compared with what? Which has been compared with the Italian political thinker Machiavelli's Prince. So in the between 14th to 16th century, there was a political thinker and a great scholar of Italy known as Machiavelli, and he wrote this book, Prince or The Prince. And the subject matter of the Prince is what? Is the political science. And the subject matter of this Arthashastra written by Kautilya is also the political science. It means this Arthashastra deals with politics and administration. And this Arthashastra gave a very detailed account of the Mauryan administration, my dear. Clear? So this book has been compared with what? With the Machiavelli's book, The Prince. Let us see the question number 57. Megasthenes, the ambassador of Seleucus at the Mauryan court in Patliputra, wrote an account of the period in his book. Answer, it's a very simple and important question. Answer is what? B. Indica. Clear na? So Megasthenes was the ambassador, the Greek ambassador, came into the court of Chandragupta Maurya, and Megasthenes was sent by whom? Seleucus Nicator. And you know, Seleucus Nicator was the ruler of Syria, and as well as he was the commander general of Alexander the Great. There, Chandragupta Maurya defeated Seleucus and around 305, or that is 305 BCE, Seleucus sent his ambassador Megasthenes in the court of Chandragupta Maurya, and he wrote a book called Indica. But unfortunately, this book is not available. This book is only available in the form of quotations in the writings of the later Greek and Roman authors, Mike. Where so now, uh, let us see the question number 58. Which of the following is the single most important source of the history of Ashoka? Yes, this is a very important question. Just read the question very carefully. Which of the following is the single most important source of the history of Ashoka? And here your answer would be C. That is the inscription of Ashoka. Clear? So this is the most important source of what the history of Ashoka, the Ashoka's inscriptions. And in classroom, I have discussed thoroughly about the various inscriptions of Ashoka, whether it was the rock edict or the pillar edict or even the cave edict. Clear? So your answer is what? Inscriptions of Ashoka. After the now, let us see the question number 59. After the Kalinga War, Ashoka decided never to wage any war because है ना Ashoka decided. You know that through major rock edict number or rock edict number 13, we come to know about this bloodiest war, Kalinga War. Kalinga means the current or the modern Odisha. And in that particular war, around 1 lakh people were killed. Clear na? So after this war, Ashoka, the greatest Mauryan ruler, had decided not to wage any war because what? Uh, because the answer would be what? Your answer would be see, he was moved by the violence, slaughter, and sufferings to the combatants and non-combatants in the war. So he was moved by what? By the violence, slaughter, and the suffering. This particular. So that is why he ended this policy of territorial expansion and introduced or implemented the policy of Dhamma. And I have discussed this policy of Dhamma. So here I am not discussing. Answer is simply what? The C. Now the question number 60. What was the royal title of the Asoka, or in his inscriptions? Asoka called himself as what? It's a very important question and it's a very easy for those students who have attended my class. Answer is what? This A. Devanam Piya Priyadarshi, or simply Devanam Piya Priyadarshi. So, in most of his inscriptions, Asoka used his royal title instead of his original name, and his original name was the Asoka, and his royal title was this Devanam Piyadasi. Clear na? So there are four inscriptions in which Asoka used his what original name, and that four inscriptions are Maski, Nettur, Gujarra, and Udegolan. Maski, Nettur, Gujarra, and what? Udegolan. मूंग, मैंने आपको कीवर्ड बताया था, मूंग बोला भी है आपको यार, हिस्ट्री याद रखना है तो कई जगह पर आपको कीवर्ड्स वगैरह अप्लाई करने होंगे. मास्की, उदयगोलन, नेतूर एंड द गुजर्रा, these are the four inscriptions where Asoka used his original name instead of what? This royal title. Now, Asoka claims to be one of the greatest ruler in world history lies in the fact that क्यों अशोका को बोलते हैं यार greatest ruler in the world history? See, he was a secular. So many rulers in the world history are what? Secular. He worked for the material, moral, and spiritual uplift of the people. Many rulers did that. After a single conquest, he dedicated himself completely to the cause of peace. This one is the answer. After a single conquest, he dedicated himself completely to the cause of what? To the cause of peace, my. So answer is C. Now, the most important official post with vast responsibility. The most important official post with vast responsibility created by Asoka was, answer is what? The Dhamma Mahamatra or the Dharma Mahamatra. What was his duty? His duty was basically to spread the message of Dhamma. To which rock edict we come to know about this Dhamma Mahamatra? Answer is what? The major rock edict number 5. Now let us see the question number 63. The Mauryan sculptors had attained the highest perfection in the carving of. Uh, in the carving of. See, many times now the question itself indicates the answer. So highest perfection in the carving of what? Answer would be what? Animal figures. On the top of the pillars, I have discussed. This is the Asoka's pillar, and at the top of the pillars, what we found? We found or we find the statue of an animal. So this statue of the animal figures are highly polished and reached towards what? The perfection in the carving. So the answer is what? Animal figures. Now see the question number 64. The most striking feature of the Asoka's pillar is their what? Is their polishing. Highly polished. The Asoka's pillars were what? Highly polished. There, and still this polishing is clearly visible. If you will touch what? The Asoka's pillars na, then you will find what? A very smooth surface, a very polished and a smooth surface. And I have touched the Asoka's pillars. So what I found? I found that what the pillars are still are very smooth. Clear? So this is the most striking feature of the Ashoka's pillar, the polished part. Now the question number 65, which of the following was not one of the actual cause for the decline of the Mauryan Empire? Not the actual cause for the decline of the Mauryan Empire. So first read all the options. Clear? So many times what you have to do, you have to eliminate the option that this option is not the correct one. So here I am going to apply that formula is what is the option elimination. क्लियर और आप पूरा पहले पढ़ लो, आपको पता चल जाएगा कि यार ये हो सकता है, ये नहीं हो सकता. Ashoka's pacifist policies, division of the empire after Ashoka. You are very much aware that after the death of Ashoka, Ashoka's empire or the Mauryan empire was divided into two parts. So the division was the region for what for this for the decline of the Mauryans. Then after the death of Ashoka, the Indo-Greek rulers invaded the Mauryan territory. So this was one of the region. Economic and financial crisis was there after the death of Ashoka. It means all these three regions are responsible for what? For the decline of the Mauryan Empire. Then your answer would be what? A. The Ashoka's pacifist policy was not the actual reason for the decline of the Mauryan Empire. So the answer is what? A, my dear. Now, who usurped power from the Mauryas after killing the last Mauryan ruler, Brihadrat? So the last Mauryan ruler was the Brihadrat, and he was killed by whom? His own commander general Pushyamitra Sung. So who was the usurper? My dear, the usurper was his own commander general Pushyamitra Sung, who founded the Sunga dynasty, and Pushyamitra Sung was a Brahmin. Now it's a very important question, the question number 66. Then comes the question number 67, the most famous Indo-Greek ruler of India, famous for his sense of justice and dialogue with a Buddhist monk, Nagasena. Very important question, I must say. And in the class test, I have asked these questions as well, and many times I have discussed this question in the classroom. And so here answer is what? Answer is the Menander, the B. He was the one of the greatest Indo-Greek ruler in the Indian subcontinent, and in a book called Milind Panho. This book is written in which language? In the Pali language. So in this particular book, there is a dialogue, there is a conversation between the Buddhist monk Nagasena and the Indo-Greek ruler Menander. And after this discussion, Menander was very much influenced by the message, by the teachings of the Gautam Buddha, and then he embraced Buddhism. Who, my dear? The Menander. And who was Menander? So Menander was the Indo-Greek ruler, my dear. Clear? Now comes to the question number 68. The first great empire to the south of the Vindhyas was of the, and the answer is very simple, the Satvahana. And after the decline of the Mauryas, I have told you in the classroom that who became the successor of the Mauryas in the Deccan region. Answer is Satvahana, and their capital was P. P means what? The Pratisthana. It is in which state? Pratisthana. It is in the Maharashtra. So the first great empire to the south of the Vindhya was built by whom? By the Satavahanas. Clear? And they ruled a maximum part of the Deccan India, and even many times they have also ruled the central India as well. The Satvahana. Now, the question number 69, the greatest claim to fame of the Satvahanas is on account of why they are very famous. The answer is that great economic prosperity and brisk inland and the foreign trade. Great economic prosperity and brisk inland and foreign trade. Mohenjo-daro is situated in which district, my dear? Sometimes this question may be asked in your exam. So answer is what? B. Larkana district. Here, Mohenjo-daro. Now comes the question number 71. Which of the following is the oldest Veda? Very simple. Answer is what? The Rig Veda. The family of the Rigvedic Aryans it was a male dominated society. It means the patriarchal. Gautam Buddha was brought up by, it's an important question. He was brought up by whom? By the Maha Prajapati or Prajapati Gautami. And who was Prajapati Gautami? Gautami Prajapati was his stepmother or foster mother. Clear? His Gautam Buddha's mother was Maya, Devi Maya. So after the birth of Gautam Buddha, Devi Maya was died, and then Gautam Buddha was brought up by foster mother and a maternal aunt, Maha Prajapati or simply Prajapati Gautami. So answer is what? Answer is A, my dear. Now, Mahavira it's a very important question and as well as a easy question. So, the Mahavira was the last Tirthankara, that is the 24th Tirthankara. And who are Tirthankara in Jainism? The founder and the great teachers of Jainism are called Tirthankara. And the question number 75 is very important. The light of Asia. Who is called the light of Asia? The Lord Buddha. Eightfold path is enunciated by, easy question, the Gautam Buddha. So if you want to attain nirvana, then you must follow what? The eightfold path. The Svetambar Jainas, Svetambars, they wear what? With the white cloth. Clear na? Svetambar is what? Svetambar and Digambar are the two most important sects of Jainism. So Digambar sects, the priest or the monks of the Digambar sect, they do not wear cloth, while the priest or the monks of the Svetambara sect, they wear white clad or the white cloth. Now comes to the question number 78. The Buddha rejected the theory of karma. Wrong. He believed in this theory of karma. He was not committal on the theory of the karma. It's the wrong one. Believed in the theory of the karma, yes, and then suggested an alternative to the theory of the karma. Wrong. So answer is what? C. You know what is this karma? So your deed decides your rebirth. If you are doing what? Good work in this birth, so your next birth will be also what? Very good. But if you are doing sin, if you are what? Involved in corruption, then your next birth is not going to be very good. So Buddha believe in the rebirth. So those philosophers, those scholars who believe in the theory of karma, and a karma means what? Your deeds. So those philosophers or scholars who believe in what this karma will automatically be believe in the theory of rebirth. So Buddha believe in the theory of karma. The Buddhist doctrines are written in what? It's an important question, my dear. An important question. So Buddhist doctrines are written in which language? In the Pali language. Pali language. And it was one of the important language of the ancient India. Pali. So the Buddhist doctrines, the three Pitaka, are written in the Pali language. And Buddha himself, he delivered his sermon in which language? In the Pali language. Now, the first Buddhist council, once again, it's a very important question, was held at which place? Answer is the C, Rajgrih. And where is this Rajgrih? It is in the South Bihar, Rajgrih, and at that time it was the capital city of the Magad Empire. And you know that this Rajgrihi is also known as Giri Braj. And this Rajgrihi was surrounded by how many hills? So five hills, my dear. So remember this. A question may be asked that which among the following city was surrounded by five hills? So your answer would be what? Your answer would be Rajgriha. So at the first Buddhist council was held at which place? Rajgrih, just after the death of Buddha, that is in the 483 BCE, and it was presided over by Mahakassapa. Now, Asoka was much influenced by a Buddhist monk called, simple answer, Upagupta. Because of the Upagupta, he was influenced very much towards what? Towards Buddhism. So, Upagupta. Question number 82. Megasthenes visited India during the period of. I have already told you the answer. The answer is what? C. That is the Chandragupta Maurya, the founder of the Mauryan dynasty. Megasthenes was the ambassador of Seleucus Nicator. I have discussed all these things. Seleucus Nicator was the ruler of Syria, and he was also the commander general of the Alexander the Great. Indica was written by, important question, it's a C, written by Megasthenes. And Mauryan dynasty was founded by, easy question, Chandragupta Maurya with the help of his guru, his teacher, his mentor, Kautilya or Chanakya or Vishnugupta. What Chandragupta Maurya did? He defeated and killed last Nanda ruler Dhananand and founded the Mauryan dynasty. The main occupation of the Aryans was, the simple answer is what? The B. But suppose if question asked the main occupation of the early Vedic Aryans, then your answer would be what? Cattle rearing, not the agriculture. But here you have to take what? The main occupation of the Aryans. And here Aryans denotes what? The Rigvedic Aryans and as well as the later Vedic Aryans. So that is why you have to tick on agriculture. But if question asked that what was the main occupation or profession of the early Vedic Aryans, then your answer would be the cattle rearing. Now, moving to the question number 87, Rig Veda consists of, it's a bit tough question and important as well. And I have discussed these things in detail in my classroom, and in my notes you will find the answer of this. Answer is what? B 1028, 1028 hymns or the hymns or the sukta. Now, the UG or the UG were driven out from the Western China by the. You know, UG means what? UG means Kusana, my dear. So, you know, Kusanas were driven out from the Western China by whom? By these Hunas. Clear na? So, the Kusanas, and the greatest ruler of the Kusana was the Kanishka. So, the UG or the Tokhari or the Kushana. So, Kusanas are also known as UZ or Tokhari. Clear na? Or here I am writing Tokhari. So they were driven out from Western China by whom? By the Hunas. Now see the question number 89. Which of the following duties of the Dhamma Mahamatras, which of the following in fact explains the duties of the Dhamma Mahamatra? Answer is what? The rock edicts. Here this should be what? A major rock edict. So in the major rock edict number 5, major rock edict number 5 of Asoka. So in that rock edict, we find what? The duties of an officer appointed by the Asoka, and the officer was the Dharma or the Dhamma Mahamatra. Now, during Mauryan period, the administration of Patliputra was in the hands of how many boards? 6 board. And how we come to know about this 6 board? Through Indica. I have discussed in the classroom that there were 6 board, and each board comprising of how many members? So each board comprising of the 5 members. So this information has been given in the Indica written by Megasthenes. Now, which inscriptions or in fact the major rock edict, and my students all are very much aware about this major rock edict and the minor rock edict. Clear na? So through which inscriptions we come to know about this battle of Kalinga? Your answer is A, the 13th rock edict, 13th major rock edict. Clear na? this battle of Kalinga has been mentioned or described. Now, question number 92. Which of the following Veda is about what music? Answer is Sam Veda. It's an important one and very easy. Sam Veda. So, in the Sam Vedas, the mantras, the formulas were set to tune or they were simply tunified for the purpose of chanting during the time of the sacrifice or the yajna. Clear na? So the mantras of the Sam Veda or was what? Was tunified. For why? For the purpose of chanting during the time of the sacrifice. So this Sam Veda is considered as one of the earliest or simply earliest book on the Indian music. So must remember this fact. Earliest book on the Indian music is what? This Sam Veda, my dear. Now comes to the question number 93 of the following was the hero of a famous drama Malvikagnimithram written by Kalidasa. And in the classroom, when I was discussing the Gupta dynasty or the Gupta period or Gupta age, at that time I have discussed about this great playwright, this Sanskrit, this greatest, you can say the greatest Sanskrit playwright or dramatist Kalidasa. And his first drama or play was this Malvikagni Mitra or the Malvikagni Mitram. And in this drama, we found the love story between Malvika, a Kshatriya princess, and Agnimitra, a Brahmin prince. So the hero of this drama is what? Is Agnimitra. And while I was discussing this drama and the various books written by the Kalidasa, I have told you that Kalidasa was like the Ekta Kapoor serial, because his all dramas are what are of happy ending. And to memorize the various dramas of Kalidasa, I have given you the keyword MBA, M for Malvikagnimithram, B or V for Vikramo Versiyam, and A for Abhigyan Sakuntalam, and this one, Avigyan Sakuntalam, is the greatest Sanskrit drama. Clear, and one of the greatest Sanskrit, one of the greatest drama of what of across the world, you can say Abhigyan Sakuntalam. You must remember this. Abhigyan Sakuntalam, my dear, written by whom? So written by Kalidasa. So now you come to know about what the three drama that were written by the Kalidasa: Malvikagnimithram, Vikramo and the Abhigyan Sakuntalam. So once again, this is very important question for your upcoming prelims exam. Now, let us see the question number 94. The duties of Dhamma Mahamatra are explained in which major rock edict? Answer is the 5. Major rock edict number 5 explains what? The duties of the Dhamma Mahamatra. Now the question number 95. Which of the following subject is not dealt in the Puranas? Answer is arithmetic. And because Purana deals what? This creation and the recreation of the universe, genealogy of the gods and the ancient rulers, ancient Indian rulers in fact, and the ancient Indian sage or the Rishi. So in the Purana are what? Purana is not a Hindi word here. Purana represents what? A literature. And you must remember that there are 18 Puranas, and the first one of the earliest Purana is what? Is the Matsya Purana, my dear. So in the Purana, we found the creation and the destruction, and then once again the creation of this universe, then genealogy of the Hindu gods and the goddesses, the ancient Indian ruler, etc. But in this particular book, we do not found what? We do not find the arithmetic. Now, the Vishnu Purana gives an account of what? So, Vishnu Purana gives an account of the Mauryan dynasty. Matsya Purana deals about what? The Satvahana. Now, the question number 97. A well organized state machinery was introduced for the first time by whom? Answer is very simple, the Maurya. In Vedic Aryans, there were no emergence of well-structured state. Clear na? So here the answer is what? The Maurya. Here, and the last Mauryan king was, I have discussed about the last Mauryan king, and the answer is what? This Brihadratha, and he was killed by whom? So he was killed by his own commander general, Pusya Mitra Sung, my dear. Now, Bimbisara was the ruler of Magad, and he was the founder of which dynasty? Bimbisara was the founder of Haryanka dynasty. So he was succeeded by his son Ajat Satru. Ajat Satru, answer is B. And you know Ajat Satru killed his own father Bimbisara, and then he became the king of the Magad. Ajat Satru, and during the reign of Ajat Satru, the first Buddhist council was held at which place? At the Rajgiri or the Giri Braj. And the exact place where this council was held, answer is the Saptaparni cave. So Ajatsatru killed his own father in order to become the king. So that is why an allegation was imposed. It is true as well that, and the allegation is what? The patricide. It means he killed his own father, who? Ajatsatru. And Ajatsatru was the contemporary of Lord Buddha. So Bimbisara was succeeded by whom? By Ajatsatru, and Bimbisara was the founder of which dynasty? Haryanka dynasty. And Haryanka dynasty ruled in which part of the Indian subcontinent? Answer is what? Magad. Now the Upanishads are separated from the Brahmanas by treatise called. Simple answer, the Aranyaka. We have the four Samhita, then comes the Brahmana literature, then comes the Aranyaka, and then comes the last or the concluding part of the Vedic literature, that is what? Upanishad or Vedanta. So between the Brahmana and the Upanishad, we have what? Aranyaka. So answer is what? B. Aranyaka. So thus, my dear student, I have finished the first uh, online test of this ancient India, and very soon you will find videos related to what? Related to the CSAT discussion. And our very good faculty, very energetic faculty, Mr. Ankit sir, and he will discuss what? He will discuss the second test, that was of the CSAT, and many of you have attended, but maximum number of student didn't attend didn't attend this CSAT test. So I am requesting all of you that the first two tests are what? Free. So so you, all of you, can participate in this online test, and let me make it very clear, and I'm assuring you that when you will participate in this test, you will find what? The actual classroom feeling. Within the stipulated time, you have to cover the test here, and you will find what? The actual classroom feeling, my dear. So here I am ending this video. Thank you for watching this uh, online test discussion. And if you find any kind of problem related to my this discussion, or if you have any kind of query, then the phone numbers are given, so you can message us on that phone number, and we will respond you. Clear? So here I am ending this video. So once again, thank you, and keep watching our channel. Thank you.